Good afternoon, everybody. Are we ready for a public bank in California? Whoa. The CFT, a union of educators and classified professionals, represents over 120,000 educators in our state. That includes early childhood educators, our TK through 12 teachers, classified professionals, community college educators, as well as university and private educators. We are truly the cradle to career workforce to bring folks into this new generation and into the new workforce. And what are they met with when they come into the workforce? Housing insecurity, transportation insecurity, food insecurity through food deserts. This is not the way that a state like California has acted in its past, not a way for it to act in its future. The one thing that we always come up against when we talk about workforce housing, when we talk about mass transit, when we talk about providing basic services to all of our residents, it is how do we pay for it? Well, there's an easy way. The eighth wonder of the world, compound interest, fractional reserve lending. These are tools that the private banking industry has been using for over 100 years to create massive amounts of wealth and prosperity and innovation. And in a state like California, we are the breadbasket of not just feeding the rest of the nation, but providing the technological advancements that have made life so much better for so many. It is only taking that wealth to the very few. We are not reserving that for the social services that we need. We're not reserving that for the education system that we need. And a public bank is the way that we can accomplish these goals together. It is not either or. It is a yes and proposition. This is the kind of policy that California needs to put significant time and investment in to figure out what is the right way for us to support a truly world-class mass transit system so that workers can get to the jobs that they need to get to. Our educators sometimes are on the road for 2 and 3 hours each way because they can't afford the housing and transportation in the cities in which they work. This is unacceptable when an educator has to go home and grade their papers, when they have to have key communication with parents, and when they're developing the lesson plans that they need to provide that level of education for this next generation. At the end of a 3-hour tour on I-5 or the 99, I can tell you nobody is ready to grade papers and create great lesson plans. What they need is housing near the school that they live in. Gone are the days when you would run into your teacher at the grocery store or at the farmer's market. The elation that comes over a child's face when they run into their educator and have a little out-of-school moment have become too rare. We need to return educators to the community. Education is a pillar of the community where many, many different facets of our social safety net and everything comes together through our school system. We need to invest in this system. And the reason why we can't make workforce housing work oftentimes is that a private bank needs to get their return in a time that jacks rents and mortgages beyond the reach of the working class. A public bank understands and knows that we can sit on this investment for decades and reap the economic multipliers when it comes to solving housing insecurity that we see in lower costs in our social safety net, in our behavioral health programs, and in our law enforcement demands. We know that this investment pays those economic multipliers, and this is why public banking can be a solution to so many of our ills in California. So we're very thankful that Assembly members Kalra and Haney have taken up this banner. I know everybody behind me has been a part of this fight for years. This is not a new concept. There are over 900 public banks on this globe with trillions of dollars of assets that they control. And the world continues to turn, and many people prosper from their work. It is time now for California to also join in the modern era of banking and have a bank that is for the people and by the people rather than shareholder profits, and this can yield great benefits. So we're very proud to support this bill. We urge the legislature to get this commission up and running, and we can figure out the perfect fit of California's public bank and make history. Are you ready for the history? Let's do it. Thank you so much.